Willkommen, bienvenue, and welcome back to Drawing Live with Light. Got the music going, we've got OBS going. Here's hoping that it stays live on Restreamio, and let's ping the Discord. Okay, Discord has been pinged. Okay, all places appear to be live. Brilliant! Okay. As before, we've got a few prompts that we can use for warming up. Let's move my mic such that I can see things properly. And so, oh, the mouse moves when I use my pen now. I made a few minor adjustments to my system, so my Wacom should be working better. It's a big old should, but still. And so, Drawlloween side, we've got the Whisper of Waterfront Wharf. Don't Look Now, Mom's Werewolf, Dude Wears a Shadow, Me, Myself, and AI, Lights, Cameras, Axes! And then on the Inktober side, we've got ourselves Spell, Chicken, Drooling, and Exhausted. And so, just going to do a quick reference search for squid to remind myself what squids actually look like. Okay. Thanks for letting us know what's playing, Pretzel. So, when attempting to draw a squid, let's first. That is not what I wanted. How do I right click? That is not how I right click. How do I right click? That's how I right click. Oh, it's apparently already been duplicated. We're good to go. So, trying to make a squid. We're trying to make an adorable squid, so adorable squids need giant eyes. That's not really how I wanted it. I need to remember that we have a much larger canvas, so we could probably get away with a significantly larger brush. And we have pressure sensitivity now, so whenever we draw things, we need to be very careful how much pressure we use. Which means I will likely end up redrawing things a lot more than last time, because I need to worry about the pressure and not just the shape. Okay, so those are way too high up, and so we just grab them and move them. So then we'll have vague squid body coming out of them. And then from there, we need the squid popat. Which is rather spade-shaped. Which means we need it to be light, and then heavy, and then up. Which is rather difficult to do from this angle. Which makes me wonder if I should modify the pressure sensitivity levels. Makes me wonder. Also, how do I rotate? Is there a way to just rotate everything? I don't know. These are the sorts of Photoshop things that I should probably be aware of. So what point am I even trying to reach? I'm probably trying to reach right there. And you see, my hand gets a lot more shaky with the pressure sensitivity. I got much more smooth action without the pressure sensitivity. And I don't know if it's the driver or if it's just my hands. So let's try turning off the pressure sensitivity and see what we get. No, it's still pretty shaky without the sensitivity. Maybe my hands are just worse today. Maybe. Okay. And then our good friend the squid will have nice tentacles that come off. And then he will have little squid hands. That mirror his squid head. Well, something like that. How many tentacles does a squid have? He appears to have 10. Roughly 10. Is he a decapod? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This. Oh, that. This one seems to have 9. Is one of them hiding somewhere? I don't have enough room for all these tentacles. There's just not enough room. Perhaps we should pretend that some of them are in the back. and just have a handful of them in the front. So we've got 6 of them so far, then we just add a couple squiggling in from behind. Didn't work very well. Gotta know where they're coming from to know where they're going. Yeah, doesn't look very good. Let's just leave him as a hexapod for now, I guess. He's just a warm-up drawing anyway. Yeah, I also need to seriously recalibrate this. Because there were parts of that where I was just going where the circle was. My pen was, well, stylus was just not getting the job done. Okay. Ding dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. 4-2. It's a good level. Okay, that was the Whisper from the Wharf. Mom's a Werewolf will be very tough for me, because I'm not very good at drawing wolves. Like, I don't know how to just get good wolf face going. Okay, so the most intimidating part of a wolf are their eyes. So we need to have good wolf eyes going. I kind of want to draw this in reverse. And so we need good dark patches for the eyes. And then we'll lighten them up to get it to look like it's looking out of the darkness in you. At you. Yeah, except the hardness is way too high. Like, it's full opacity, so it goes way too white, way too fast. I don't really know how that works. Like, I don't know how to make that do what I want it to do. So if we make it even more just dark, vague wolf shape. Okay, dark wolf shape. Now, how do we get it to have some shape to it? So I suppose we need to know where the light's coming from. Because if we just indiscriminately add that, it's just not gonna look right. So where are wolf's eyes relative to everything else? I don't know. Just can't quite get the feel of this brush. Hmm. I think what I really need is to just get a handle on drawing nice, clean lines. Ooh. Yeah, I need to be able to do consistent pressure when I want it, and add pressure when I don't. If I don't have the fundamentals, I'm not going to be able to draw what I'm seeing, even if I see it. Hey there, Mac! Has much happened? Not a lot. I did a doodle of a squid and the start of a wolf, but I lost focus on the wolf. Can't really make him do what I need because my fundamentals are lacking. So I was doing a bit of practice, getting my hand and my arm to do what I want instead of what they want. But as you can see, I got the pressure sensitivity working again. So that's good. Okay, what was up next? Dude, where's your shadow? It kind of helps, but it's just another variable. That I might not be able to control properly. Three wings? 4 wings. The problem is I really like the way it looks with the variable line width, I'm just not very good at controlling it. Okay, so that's very wrong. Hey there, basic. Okay, so facets of that are wrong. This part needs to stay thin. These need to be a consistent arc. And so back we go. And we go to the bin with the Oh, right, it's got a white background. Why are we on layer 0? So, to be more consistent, let's make a new layer. And so what we need is that. Well, that's a little ironic. Apparently it's the champagne that's popping. How long have I been doing art? That's a difficult question to answer. Because theoretically, back when I was a kid, I drew a little bit, but nothing serious. But I'm still not serious about it, really. And so there was a time, a couple of years ago, where I was trying to draw pretty much every day. But it only lasted for... I don't even know how long it lasted, but it wasn't very long. You're not supposed to take it seriously. Okay, so attempt 2. We didn't take into account that it needs to get closer as it goes down. Ah. First drawing's supposed to be 2 out of 10. And to be fair, probably the majority of your drawings should be 2 out of 10. You just keep shifting how good your 2 out of 10 needs to be. And having friends who are really good at something gives you a lot of good access to good examples. And so you get much better, much faster. Because I'm surrounded by, well, at least I had been, surrounded by people who are very good at painting miniatures. Like you'd use for Warhammer and Malifaux and things like that. And I had never done it before. But they were playing a game that I really wanted to play, and you need minis, and you really should have them painted. And so my first time in, I prepped like crazy before even starting. And they turned out really well. But it was mostly because I was gonna be playing with people who had absurdly well-painted models. And so to fit in, I did what I needed to do to get my painting. And it wasn't anywhere near their quality. Like, that's the thing. It was really good for a first attempt. But overall, it wasn't all that great. Ah, friend that started painting models enjoys the zen of it. Yep. It's pretty darn zen until it doesn't go the way you want, and then, well, it's like anything else. It can be as frustrating as you make it. Like right now, I'm just looking at the wings of the Hyrule crest. I'm like, that's just not right. Because this whole angle is off. This entire thing needs to come out more. And like, I'm never gonna finish this entire crest. Because I'm working on copying. And copying is really tough. Because there's just so much perfection that you can put into it. Whereas when you draw your own thing, you're trying to copy from your mind. Your mind is a really sketchy place. At least my mind's a very sketchy place. But going back to the only art you're okay at, talent is super overrated. It really doesn't matter where you start. What matters is where you stop. Because there are tons of supremely talented people who never really make it because they relied too much on their talent and they never learned to work. And so when it got to a point where they just couldn't do something, they were like, oh, I guess that's my limit. Time to stop. And the people who are truly phenomenal are like, well, I found one of my limits. How do I push past it? How do I make this better? Do I talk to people? Do I look at things? Do I analyze my own work? Do I analyze somebody else's? Because to me, the most important thing is not being able to do what you need to do. It's being able to recognize what it is that you don't like. Because if you can identify what you don't like about it, then you can look into fixing it. It's just when you have no idea what's wrong with it, that's when you've gotten to a real stumbling block. Is that you just look at it and you're like, there's something wrong. I have no idea what it is. And sometimes you get to those points, and you have to decide whether or not you need to put it away for a little bit. Or if you need to go through piece by piece and identify, is this good or bad? Is this good or bad? Really? You thought that's what I wanted you to grab? Would you stop grabbing the wrong thing? Okay, so upon closer inspection, I see one of the things that I don't like about what I drew. First off, these come to points. Oops. It's very hard to see on this right side because the stylus is in the way. Okay. The way it fans out like this is also not quite right. Because these also need to come to sharper points. And they need to carve in better. So I'm gonna see whether or not I can warp these properly. Okay, so this needs to get more narrow as it gets towards the center. Yep, that is certainly one way to go about it. And heck, start with tracing. There we go. So now we get rid of this. Actually, let's just get rid of that layer entirely. Come back here. It's not quite ready yet either. There we go. Now that looks much better. Okay, then we need the last 4 parts of the bird. Okay. Step 1, bird body. Is that how the bird body goes? No. It's wider and more arrowhead-like. Oh no, can't find the pen for your drawing tablet. Ah. So yeah, drawing the fundamental figure can sometimes help. I'm not a huge fan of that method myself, but maybe that's what I'm lacking. So for example, this next part, you could demonstrate that it is in fact just feet coming down, and then fill in the details of said feet. And so you give it a nice ball here, a nice ball here, and a nice ball there. And then lightly fill in the details. Now, is that high enough? Kind of. Kind of. And then you get the bird head up there. Now, is it always in? It's always in. Yeah, I do recall you wanted to do a bit of writing. I've considered it myself, but never been able to completely flesh out any story that I could make an actual story. Okay, that's a decent attempt at the crest. So we grab all these. There we go. Right, we need to give it a name. There we go. Me, myself, and AI, huh? Okay, so how do we draw an old school television? Step 1, a box. Step 2, a slightly curvy box on the inside. Step 3. Remember that there should be room on one of the sides for dials. No, that was the tablet on my desk. Scope creep. Yeah, scope creep is dangerous in every endeavor. You gotta keep it contained. Or it'll get out of control on you. They did have... handles like that, didn't they? Good old-fashioned 70s TVs. And they had a big old thing on the top with some janky rabbit ears coming out. And we give him some scan line eyes. Give him a little rubber tubing neck. And then what would you make his body out of? Ooh, I know. Wait a minute, you don't put the hinges on the outside of a safe. It's a terrible idea. Price of the pen for the tablet you have is $18. Ooh, that's not great. Which means the tablet is worth $9, the bundle was $27. Woo. Safes should have tiny little rubber feet, yeah? Tiny little rubber feet. And then I think his arms should be mismatched wrenches. How does a socket wrench work? Goes like... I know it's hexagonal. That's how a socket wrench works, right? Then on the other side... I'm not very good at drawing the other type of wrench, and I'm not good at drawing the other side. Weird. Yeah, anime is really bad about scope creep. Okay, instead, let's make it a nice rubber mallet. You don't want to draw with a mouse? That's fair. You might want to try grabbing Inkscape? Or opening up some comparable vector graphic program. Because it's a lot easier to work with a mouse. In Inkscape and those than it is in Photoshop, because then you think about curves and inflection points. And so I exclusively use the mouse in Illustrator. So whenever you see me doing the line work for these, when I'm cleaning up the lines and whatnot, that's purely mouse. It's tough in Photoshop. I'm 100% there with you. But in Illustrator, it's really the way to go. Okay, our robot is adorable and finished. Lights, camera, axe. Makes me think about what goes into making a good-looking axe. Because, like, for a hatchet... Is that a mouse? That does look like a mouse. Because there are two serious points of interest in any axe. The handle and the blade. And so what do you do to make a blade, to make a handle look interesting? Oh, right. Should probably make it black. So, like with a hatchet, now, do we want a throwing axe or wood cutting a hatchet? So what do you do with the other end? Do you just make it a hammer on the other end? Do you add a point to the other end? Axel Springtrap! Thank you for accepting my duck. And then this is a very basic axe, and so you're like, well, what do you do with it? Well, you can make the blade more interesting by having engravings in it. You could have it be a throwing axe, and you can remove parts of the metal to make it lighter, such that you can throw it farther. You could add things to it to make it heavier, to have it have more impact when it arrives. And so you could have it be... be a little something like that. And then you add your little insignia right about here. Banana! And then you turn the opacity down. And you add a little bit of wood grain to it somehow. I don't know how wood grain works, really. And so you do something and hope that it works. Turned out vaguely okay, I guess. Handle is, if I can recall, typically a branch, so the grain is... Oh, that worked. Yeah, it should be a branch, so it shouldn't have a knothole in it. Like, you should never have an axe blade with a knothole in it, but it's a madness axe. It's got a little Cthulhu face on it. You're not supposed to follow the rules. What's up next? Spell! So the question becomes, am I the least bit confident when drawing a hand? And I'm gonna go with no. Like, I've always got one right in front of me, but I'm still like, do I even know how to draw this? All right, I'm still on 40% opacity. Yep, I have no confidence when it comes to drawing hands. Like, I could probably draw a hat just fine. Yeah, hands are hard. Hands are weird things. Okay, and then what we're gonna do we're gonna have him. Really wide for a wand. Okay. We're gonna skip chicken, because chicken is our main thing. Drooling and exhausted. Oof. These sound rough. I mean, I suppose we could go back to that goblin from the last time. Make him drooling. Could try to make an ogre. Ogres are fun. Main feature of one of my ogres, their big, bulbous nose. The tiny little hairs coming out of it. The angle's not right. Now that looks like it's looking straight at you. I needed to go back. Back. It's not really working for me. Oh no! Did you just misplace your pen? Maybe we should just have him looking straight at us. Oh. Trying to figure out why your Wi-Fi wasn't working. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Give it a little bit depth. It's not been fed for weeks. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm happy with how the nose eventually turned out. The first few attempts just didn't quite click in my brain. This one turned out all right. Literally your teeth before you got your braces. Woo, that's rough. Okay, and now... Oops. I need for this to be symmetrical. Good enough. Oh, inches of space between them. Now they look nice. Well, that's what braces are for. Make them look nice. Portal 2 themed jazz song. I think I might have missed it. So like that, you'd be getting all the guys. I just need to look at some more beautiful meat, I suppose. Okay, I think it's time to start on the main project. We'll skip out on Exhausted for now. And we'll start work on the chicken. I suppose first we should do a general sketch. General sketch. Hello? Save group from layers. Oh, right. It was asking for name on the other screen. Okay, so general idea. We need a chicken. So the main difference between a chicken and a duck is that a duck has a flat bill. So when we drew our duck, it was like this. Ducks have flat bills. So if we're gonna draw a chicken, it needs a sharp bill. Now, we did the duck facing that way. We could do the chicken facing the other way. Or we could do the chicken facing forward. I kind of like the idea of the chicken facing forward. But we do need a good sense of proportion. So we probably need about a third for the bill, a third for the eyes, and then a third for the comb. And so we'll probably get the bill a little something like that. Have this come back underneath. A little opening for breathing out of. I'm winning! Difference between a duck and a chicken is that a duck has the capacity to kill. Quite so, quite so. Ducks are way more likely to kill you than a chicken. Chickens are way more likely to kill themselves. Okay, so we got giant kind of terrified mouth. We need enormous scared eyes. And then we need a comb. Much more majestic and terrified. Kind of like that. Seriously, what do you mean by them killing themselves? Chickens are, well, some chickens are incredibly stupid. They don't have any sort of situational awareness. And so if they get themselves into even the slightest of danger, they could end up dead. And by danger, I mean water. Like too heavy of a rain. Too much food nearby. Something that looks like food but isn't. Okay, so the real question is, does this chicken need a head? Or is it good with just the beak, the eyes, and the comb? Like, do we need a little bit of chicken head as well? I think chicken head is necessary. I also think we're going to need to have some imbalance and rebalance in the long run, like having the eyes different sizes, the pupils different sizes, and then the sides of his mouth different sizes. And have them balance each other out as we go. Okay. So that's the plan. Okay, we're going down to a much, much smaller brush now. Maybe we need to use the pencil instead? Because this is a bit rough. Let's turn off the pressure sensitivity for now. That helps a bit. Okay, do we want the big side on the right or on the left? Probably the right, since we have the big eye on the left. Okay. My typing skill so high you can censor something in the middle of a live stream. Ha ha ha! Beep. Okay, new layer. Underneath. Orange. So the question becomes, not only how does it look on a black background, but also what color should the inside of the chicken's mouth be? It's just from Pretzel, and I did not select anything settings-wise on Pretzel, so it's just whatever. Ah, curses! I drew on the black background. That's right, kids. Always know what layer you're on. Gray, possibly, yeah. like a warm gray? Let's try a warm gray. I don't know. That's no good. I don't like it. Let's go grayer. Don't like that either. Let's go dark orange. Wait, dark orange is just brown. It's probably good enough for now. Go for a nice dark outline. Oops. Morrowind's max resolution is regular HD. That's not too surprising. Okay, we need a layer above this for the crest, which, for the comb, which I have a feeling is going to actually go outside of the box. Yeah, 720p is regular high definition. Standard definition's even lower. Pure red. Okay. Now we start the highlighting process. Let's go slightly orange and darker. And then slightly pink and lighter. Zoom out. Not in, out. Not enough highlight. And also too pink.
Can you see the stars align? A night like this can never rewind. Can you hear the wolf cry out to the light? A night like
Well, I mean, it made perfect sense at the time. It was high definition at the time.
So take a couple steps back as you hear me start to howl. Take a couple steps back when I lose all control. Watch me turn into a werewolf, and I will haunt till the break of dawn. Don't you dare to try to stop me. This is the horn of the black swan.
Set it higher in the game than you can in the launcher. It's a little odd.
So take a couple steps back as you hear me start to howl. Take a couple steps back when I lose all control. Watch me turn into a werewolf.
Watch him turn into a werewolf, guys. Sounds like he wants the attention. Real bad.
This is the horn of the black swan.
Okay. His left pupil is just a little too small. Yeah. Full HD, quad HD, all the HD all the time. Okay, so we need something that makes him look even more scared. 2 or 3 terms for... Yeah, 4K. Like, would a sweat droplet help? It is really hard to see. Yeah, that doesn't... The opacity on that doesn't really help. Let's just make the base darker blue. And then lighten it up from there. Dang, that's a scared chicken. Have you ever seen one? Well, that's good. Wait a minute. The light's coming from the wrong side. Too late. I don't know about that. Yeah, it's kind of okay. Yeah, I don't know. There's just something just not quite convincing me about the sweat drop. I like the rest of it, though. Because at 50%, that's regular emote size. And on a dark background... Oh, right, we never enlightened the chicken itself. Take a larger brush to this. Well, that's a little too big. Just like 3 pixels. 4 pixels, that's fine. And I apparently drew the left pixel on the wrong layer. There we go. There he is on black. Seems good. Yeah. I thought the singer was saying go insane. What was he singing? That's what I thought he was singing too. Weird. Okay, so 100% is right about there. So that's large Twitch emote. Used for no apparent reason. I don't know when that size of emote would ever be used. And then 50% is standard Twitch emote size. Go and say. I suppose that could be possible. Can't tell from the title, that's for sure. I believe we need to do something about the comb, though. I don't like the pink. There we go. Okay. Does our chicken need anything else? And that's one scared chicken. Seems very worried. That is his job. Well, I suppose one important thing to be scared about is that we haven't saved him yet. Okay, let's get rid of the backgrounds. Oh, actually, we should try a third background. Should give it a color that isn't a pure background. Make sure it still looks good without a pure background. I'd say still looks pretty good. You never know what background these guys are going to be on. Transfer into the Gungeon enemies. Yeah, when you hit them with the hexagon, they turn into a chicken. Poor guy. Okay, so we turn off the background. We save it again. File. I like the legacy save for web. I don't know why. Is this the right folder? It totally is. Okay, and then image. Oh, right. Come on, mouse, get on there. Image size. Bring it over here. 28 by 28. Sharper versus nearest neighbor. That's an interesting question. I think... Okay, so nearest neighbor is just a little too extreme. Let's go with a bicubic sharper. Seems pretty reasonable. Yeah, seems pretty reasonable. Work with 1-bit drawings. Yeah, because nearest neighbor is great when you're scaling up the pixel art.
But when we're scaling down hand-drawn stuff, it's too extreme. Like, if we built it from a limited set of colors, you might get a better rendering of it with nearest neighbor, but there was too much blending going on. Okay, so now we need 48 and 32. So we undo the resizing. We do 48. And then we undo it again. And then we do 32. Okay. Can the program save checkpoints or whatever it's called? What do you mean? I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Okay, 32 by 32 is what Discord wants. So that's what Discord gets. Oh, I don't know. In general, for that sort of version keeping, you're probably going to want to do it yourself in a set of different files. Okay, he looks sufficiently scared in Discord. Let's check inline. And let's try the reaction. Okay, again, the reaction just doesn't quite work. Inline seems alright, full size is good. But the reaction is still... Something ran into on a now old version of Corel Draw. Interesting. Okay, so maybe I should, maybe I should work on reaction size first. Because the duck is still readable at reaction size. But the chicken is not. It's interesting. But if nothing else, the chicken went a lot more smoothly than the others. Like, just getting the idea in went by much faster.
now it's falling into place like a little choreo. Everything's covered wall to wall like parkour. Started off small, and now I'm getting hardcore. Every single day, I'll be getting more smug. Home assistant,
Yeah.
be my automation hub. And let me set things straight. No keyboard or monitor, I SSH. Yeah, you can't see me when I encrypt all my traffic through my VPN. You wanna try and track me?
Is it easy being scared? How many emotes do I have on YouTube anyway? Like, it's not that I have anyone who can even use them, but I don't know how many I can have there. Oh, I've got 4 slots that I can have that nobody can use. Oh, that was a ludicrous reference. Yeah, computer and generally nerdy type stuff. Yep. That was creepy. YouTube looked at my snake and called it light excited, but it didn't know what to call the chicken. Let's see if it'll let me send them. And let's see whether or not my bot can handle them. Oh, it doesn't. I wasn't sure if my bot could handle them or not. But I apparently did not make it handle YouTube custom emotes. Oh well. Yeah, YouTube/Google was doing I'm trying to think of what the right word for it would be. I don't think semantic analysis is the right word. Because there's a very specific term for what you do when you're trying to figure out the positive or negative feeling of a piece of data. And it's right on the tip of my tongue. Because it's not semantic, because that would be the meaning. Sentiment. Sentiment analysis. I think that's the word for it. Yeah, opinion mining. Although I suppose sentiment analysis is just supposed to be about text, not pictures, but c'est la vie. Okay, so let's take a look at the near future of prompts. Tomorrow is star. I don't know. Je n'aime pas la vie. Pourquoi? So yeah, tomorrow is star. I don't know if I'll get to stream tomorrow, but with how well the duck or the chicken went today, I might be able to finish in 2. Can't answer in French because you're only a month in the French one. That's fair. That's fair. Because we did finish the chicken in 2 hours. With all of that warm-up. So, might be able to stream tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see, because I do still have rehearsal. But if we can be done promptly at 8:30, that could be fine. But if not, Tuesday will be more Stardew Valley most likely, so we won't be drawing Precious on Tuesday. But we will be back on Wednesday, almost definitely. But again, always depends on homework and energy levels and whatnot. So we might be on flowing at that point. And so I'll have to think about what sort of emote I could do with any of those. And then for Drawlloween, we'll have insects and the city. I mean, that might be able to make a good emote, having some sort of bug. Moonmen from Mercury. Mercury's not a moon. And my dentist is a shapeshifter. So yeah, these tend to be less helpful for the emotes, but still good for the warm-ups and drawing. But, I mean, the bug might work. I might go back and try to clean up the spider muffin. That could be fun. But still, we're making progress on learning what emotes need. We did the best job with the duck. Most likely because we spent like 6 hours on him. Why did it say trick or treat? Because there are parts of the country, like where I'm from, where you pronounce it trick or treat. And not trick or treat. You don't get the full O in there. Why the apostrophe's after the R instead of before, I'm not really sure. I would put it before, but people aren't always strict with their usage of apostrophes. And it is a little weird putting an apostrophe at the beginning of a word. Like, sure, you're dropping the O, but maybe it's just the apostrophe at the end that means the thing itself has been abbreviated. It's hard to know, really. Apostrophes are hard, okay? They're hard! But we have learned some things about emotes. We still put in lines that are too thin to come up in 28 pixels. Fish and chips has 2 apostrophes? Well, I mean, if you're dropping the A and the D... It really just comes down to your philosophy of apostrophes. So yeah, I think next time, maybe we should just start at 28 pixels. Just use the pencil tool, start at 28 pixels, and just make it at the final resolution. And then scale it up nearest neighbor, such that we get true pixel art scaled up to 56. And then maybe scale it back down to 32 and 48? I don't know. I don't know. Scale it back down by cubic? Not really sure. I know I'm not doing a 3-hour stream about my philosophy of apostrophes. Because I don't have that strong an opinion about apostrophe use. The Oxford comma, sure. But apostrophe, I'm not as invested. Fine then, do a 3-hour stream on the Oxford comma. It's a lot of hours about the Oxford comma, but I'm sure there's enough out there. Like situations where you desperately need it, some situations where it makes it worse. Although I'm not sure I know any situations that the Oxford comma makes it worse. Common... I mean, having a common factor amongst those 4 sizes? I mean, you'd have to nearest neighbor it up real high. Because we've got 28, 32, 48, and 56. So 28 and 56, you're done. So the 28 shares a 4 with the 32 and the 48, but it's got a 7 in there. It's the 7 that makes it bad. Because you'd have to kick the 32 up to 224? And then the 48 up to 300 some pixels? And so the 48 has a 3 in it. And then a bunch of 2s. So we need a 3, a 7, and an 8. Yeah? Well, no, because the 32 is all alone in its amount of 2s. So it'd be 32, 3, and 7, so 32 times 21. I don't know that off the top of my head. So 672. So I'd have to take the 28 up to 672. And then scale it back down. Entire stream's worth of grammar fills you with apostrophe. Yeah. They likely didn't teach it well. Because for me, it's a really fun game. Like, seeing what makes up any given number, and then you just match it all up. So, like, 32 doesn't have any 3s or 7s in it. So, 32 is going to be in your final thing. Your cat's a saboteur. I imagine that's most cats. But yeah, so you need a 7 for 28. You need a 3 for 48. And 56 is already taken care of. So yeah, 32 times 3 times 7. He was playing Morrowind. He pressed your left mouse button, made you hostile to the entirety of Balmora. Oh. Cat's a spy. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. So, we have finished the chicken. I will be back at the latest on Tuesday night with Stardew Valley. More drawing at the latest Wednesday. There's a chance of a drawing stream tomorrow. Don't hold your breath, because who knows what's going to happen. But I do believe I'm going to get going for now. We'll keep learning our lessons. We'll keep making, emotes, I can't guarantee they're better because we still haven't met the level of the duck. Maybe next time. Either way, I will see you in the next live stream or video of drawing or Stardew Valley or Dead Cells or who knows what with light.